Hey everyone, it's Scoopman 5000. We're back for another video. Today, another WWE Elite set. This time, we got CM Punk, LA Knight, John Cena, Ultimate Warrior, Build-A-Figure, Cory Graves. This is the Royal Rumble set, I guess, for 2026. These have been out for a little while, but there is some fun stuff to talk about here. We got the retirement tour, John Cena. We got a throwback Punk. This LA Knight, very sentimental to me. We'll get into that. And we got the Ultimate Warrior, who for me is the least exciting. With these Build-A-Figure sets, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, it's a lot of guys that we have a lot of already. But for me, I look at it like, which ones would I have bought if I didn't want to Build-A-Figure? And for 3 out of 4 in a set, that's pretty good. So we got 5 figures to look at. We're going to kick it off with the Ultimate Warrior. And I'm not going to dwell too much on packaging, but interesting to note, the format has changed a little bit. Off to the side here is like a separate enclosure. A little bit of shake in the box. And then right here, more accessories inside. And I think that's mostly just going to be the Cory Graves Build-A-Figure pieces. I don't know if this is better or worse for people stealing parts. I guess you can give it an old shake, but who's to say what's inside? Not going to have that problem getting him through ringside, but something to note if you guys are on the hunt. This is from Rumble 89. We got the arms of one Cory Graves. And here he is, the Ultimate Warrior. And for his accessories, very light. The 2 fists on the figure. You got 2 gripping hands. We have this piece right here. There's like a little stretch bar, a little exercise thing. I guess it's specific to this moment at the Rumble with Rick Rude. But the Ultimate Warrior, I mean, what can be said about the amount of Ultimate Warriors that Mattel has produced? And it's understandable. He's a mainstream, iconic 80s wrestler. This wave especially skews very modern, so you want a guy like this in the set to sort of balance it out. But we had the same issue with Macho Man for many years, Hogan's, Shawn Michaels. How many of these guys can they make? I'm not even a Warrior guy, but you have to have some of them to represent the 80s. I mean, obviously, Ultimate Edition, I'm a completist. How many Ultimate Warriors just in that set? And this gear especially, I mean, this is very basic. We've seen much more intricate stuff from the Warrior. This one is nice and easy. Red, white, and blue, very minimal paint. Paint on the face is cool. The eyes almost get lost a bit, but they're in there. And then just as basic as you can get for the body. The tassels, these are like the newer Ultimate style that you can pose them around. Wrist overlays, but this is like total white gear, just a little logo on the back. Adjustable tassels on these knee pads as well. And boots that we've seen plenty of times. I mean, probably the quickest I've ever gone over one of these guys. But what can I say? Just not a whole lot to talk about with this guy, the Ultimate Warrior. So I'm not saying this isn't well done. It's definitely well executed. I don't see any issues. Nothing's loose on him. The nice double elbow of the modern figures is there, but just not a lot of meat in the bone for me personally. And for comparison, here we got another Elite. This is definitely from another Build-A-Figure set. I probably wouldn't have bought this on its own. And then here's an Ultimate Edition. I think this came with the Honky Tonk. Definitely a lot of Warriors out there. Next, let's look at CM Punk. Here we go with CM Punk. This is from the Royal Rumble 2010. For his accessories, you have a total of 2 sets of hands, so 1 pair of fists, 1 pair of grips, and you have the WWE microphone. This is the accurate logo to the time. And we've gotten a lot of Punks recently. This might be the first, long-haired 2010 in that straight edge society kind of era. This one would actually look pretty good with that Luke Gallows, that really old Elite. Does look like a new head to me, though. I don't think Mattel's were that good on likeness back then. You can see the little ring on his lip. A little bit of bobblehead. I mean, not as bad as I've seen on some, but this is an issue with a lot of modern Mattels. Of course, they always avoid the Pepsi and the Cobra tattoo. I do wish they would take the AEW approach and sort of make an interpretation that's legally distinct rather than just leaving the shoulders blank. He does look a little naked, especially this is before the chest tat. We got a bit of stubble there, but maybe that should be a bit darker. The other tats look good, though. I think if you look at different Punk, there's slight alterations in how they do the tattoos, but I like this one. A bit colorful, maybe not as faded as it should be. And this is definitely an iconic gear, the black and red, especially for this time. But CM Punk, another guy, I mean, just between the modern figures and now these sort of re-releases, redos of classic Punk, a lot of figures. And a lot of the same parts as a result. Stuff that we've been seeing, these kick pads. They'll be very familiar if you've been picking up the other CM Punks. And he's going to move like you'd expect him to. Again, the head sort of bobbles around. Double elbow. The chunky elbow pad here sort of blocks it. And then these newer ankle pivots as well. And for comparison, here he is with some other recent throwback CM Punks we've been getting. This new one would actually come first, and then I think he got his head shaved later in that year, and then this is like a year later, 2011, Nexus style CM Punk in the Macho trunks. Here he is with the ECW champ CM Punk, and all the way up to the modern day Ultimate Edition. So we have a whole timeline of Punk's career, basically. Then for figures representing this era, I actually don't have a whole lot. I mean, that's like the beginning of Mattel's, was during this time, like 2010, 2011. I got in more 2011, 2012, so not a whole lot for me. The modern figures that sort of fit, this is more Ruthless Aggression, like 2007, and I think this Drew is like 2009. The ones to get would be The Undertaker, Target Legends. I haven't ever gotten that one. As well as the Great Khali. I think from the previous year's Rumble set. I think that actually matches up from this match. So just to get an idea if you're sort of building that era in your shelf. Up next, let's check out L.A. Knight. Yeah! And we got the vest and overcoat for Graves. And here he is, L.A. Knight. Yeah! Out of the packaging. For his accessories, we got 2 gripping hands. And then we got 2 of his unique entrance pose hands. And then really cool, we got the kendo stick, glow in the dark, black light, pitch black decoration. And we're going to do something here. I'm going to get the kendo back in his hand. And check that out, nice black light action. You can see it hitting the kendo stick and his gear. And it even leaves the kendo stick. It's probably not going to show, but if you charge this guy up with the black light, it'll actually kind of stay glowing for a second there. You see that? I don't think I did this when I had Bray Wyatt, so we'll bring him out just while I have the black light handy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Check that out. I'm going to definitely have some fun taking pictures of these guys. Pitch black style. And this is a big deal for me. I've gone over this like 2 or 3 times in this channel already. I attended this match in Texas, but this obviously ended up being Bray Wyatt's last ever televised match. I'm going to have to make some sort of dedicated display, maybe something I can get some blacklight LEDs or something, but to have this match complete, you know, it was awesome to get the Bray Wyatt on its own, but now the LA Knight to complete it, icing on the cake for me. The one thing we're missing here is the entrance jacket, but it is an Elite, it's not quite an Ultimate, so not like that's a guarantee, but I'm assuming this is the only time we're ever going to get pitch black LA Knight, so would have been nice. Don't know if I love the head here. He's had a couple of different likenesses, and I think I like some of those better. I don't know if he ever made an expression like this during the match, right? This was more serious. He was getting his ass kicked majority of the time. But otherwise looks good. Got the right boots on him. LA Knight logo on the front and on the back of the trunks. And even this little armband is just painted over the shoulder. And I especially love the fluorescent kendo stick. That is a fun accessory. It's a memorable part of the match. You know, we went into this match, what the hell is a pitch black match? All of a sudden, they're both glowing, and they have these glowing weapons. They're throwing confetti everywhere. It's a ridiculous thing, but memorable and fun. So I'm definitely glad to have this. Really stoked. Looks like the old, I think actually the old style ankles, though, which is interesting because he has an Ultimate. Here he is with Uncle Howdy and the Bray Wyatt from the same match. Uncle Howdy is not. This is a more modern Wyatt 6 version. I do still think we need a 2023 Uncle Howdy. And he's been fighting these guys a lot recently. So here he is with Jey Uso and CM Punk. But unless you're like me and you wanted it specifically as pitch black LA Knight, you probably want to go with something like these. I think this is like his second Elite figure, or maybe his first Elite, but second figure. Here's the Ultimate Edition. There's even Defining Moments. There's probably 1 or 2 more out there already. But very cool to have pitch black LA Knight. I probably would have preferred one of these head sculpts on this guy, though. And the last figure is now John Cena. Well, we got Cory afterwards, but you know what I mean. With that, we have the head sculpt of Cory Graves, and you can't forget the headset. This looks really dark. My lights are kind of dying. Let me take the hat off. But here we go. John Cena, the last time is now. And this is depicting the Royal Rumble, Indianapolis gear, obviously. This is still babyface John. This is when he was thrown out by Jey Uso in the Rumble. So we've yet to get a heel Cena, I think. For the accessories, we already saw the hat. There you go. I don't like how it sits because the hair is kind of spiky on top. So the hat sits a little high. Beautiful shirt here, and this is one of the modern without any Velcro on the back, so you can get that door printed on the back here. And the side sleeve print, nice to see. And then he's got a pair of grips and a pair of open hands. I mean, I'm almost like, let's just keep the shirt on the figure, because otherwise, how many John Cenas have we seen with this torso? I mean, you're missing the last time is now on the armband, but otherwise, that's what's making this figure, because everything else is vintage John Cena. The thing about this, right, this is Indianapolis Royal Rumble John Cena. I guess the one that was Walmart that I think got canceled for a lot of people, that's the red shirt. I guess that's like the default retirement John Cena. But otherwise, he's got a new shirt in every single city. You know, Australia is the sea of yellow shirts. So it's almost like, which one do you get? I'm leaning towards that red one. But I guess if they make Jets or the Giants style one, because I went to SummerSlam, even though I went Saturday, I didn't even see John, but I bought the shirt, so who knows? I'm sure I'll end up with a couple of these retirement John Cena. It'll be cool to see. You know, I'm sure somebody will go out there and complete every single retirement John Cena in a figure. Even if Mattel doesn't make them, I'm sure the customizers will. I do like the knee pads sculpted in. We've seen that a couple times in the past few years. And then the socks, that's sort of his new thing for this retirement run. He's even matching his socks these days. Nice rise above hate right there. And then the ultimate like dad shoes, like total Sketcher jobs or whatever these are. Gray and white dad shoes on John Cena. And he's a modern John Cena elite figure. He's going to do everything you want him to. Decent range, even with the jorts. Again, maybe an older school on the sneakers there. So they're not totally up to date with articulation yet on the ankles. I guess it's just on like regular wrestling boots. Again, we have the Ultimate already though. We have tons of Ultimate Cenas. I guess it might be a different sculpt, but still, they have the technology. I forgot to check that on my Ultimate LA Knight. See, definitely a new ankle there. Probably use that boot on this guy. And here we go with a couple modern Cenas. I say that, this one is probably like 5 years old at this point. I have another Cena on display. It's the modern Cena I've been rocking. But I guess before all the retirement business, this was his most current, you know, shirt. This is, I think, the one that he interfered on Cody's title win. And you could see it is the same head sculpt, and it has the same issue. That sort of spiky hair makes the hat sit pretty high, in my opinion. And finally, let's put together Cory Graves. And right before I put on the head, I did want to just try something real quick. I have seen people take this, the Ultimate Punk, pop that on. I mean, he's got neck tats, but with a little fix-up action, give him an arm sling. And this is commentary Punk from when he cost Drew at WrestleMania 40. But let's go ahead. Let's get the proper head on there. Not hearing a pop. I like to hear a pop. But it is on. There we go. NXT's Cory Graves in the house. And this is great. Another announcer figure. And we don't get these very often, man. And especially, like, how do we not have a modern Michael Cole is crazy to me. We need Wade Barrett. We need Byron Saxton, Jackie Redmond. There's a lot of these personalities, right? But this is a good step, Cory Graves. And we're going to get right into this. What an improvement from his previous figure. Way old school, basic. Probably 2017 if I had to guess. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I always thought this was more like a Fandango figure than a Cory Graves. Certainly an improvement here. I don't think he ever had a ring gear NXT style figure, but I could be wrong on that. And I want to say this is all new stuff. I mean, even like this suited body, wrinkles on the legs even, yeah, look different to me. Maybe the arms and legs, you know, could be reused from something. But that torso with that vest setup, but definitely beautiful likeness here to Mr. Graves. And then his neck tats all punched in. And then the tats on the hands as well. You're only getting the grip hands, but that's probably what you'd want because you'd either have them sitting on the desk anyway or holding a microphone. And we're going to do something fun. I got this chair that came with this Cody Rhodes. Probably the only reason to pick it up now that we have that updated suit figure. And these figures don't really sit the best, but we'll put them about there. We'll fiddle with that in a second because this is a great opportunity for me to bust out this old school NXT commentary desk. And now this is very out of date, but just thought it'd be fun. And already I'm running into an issue that the chair is way too tall. So we'll use a solid steel chair instead. And even that, his legs. I guess this commentary table, not the best. But still, I mean, even like that, that's pretty cool, right? A cool way to display him. For comparison, here he is again with that basic figure. And again, just a gigantic upgrade in every single aspect. Here he is with that commentary Cody Rhodes. And how about with Adam Pearce? And I didn't think we had any modern commentary guys, but I guess you could count this Pat McAfee And I found this guy while I was digging for my Cory Graves figure. We don't see Jerry very often these days, but I'm sure they've interacted on a panel or two. So here you go. And that does it for this wave of Royal Rumble Elite figures. For me, it's a fun set. And again, I would have picked up LA Knight, would have definitely picked up LA Knight, CM Punk, and probably this John Cena, even without the Cory Graves Build-A-Figure. So 3 out of 4 on a Build-A-Figure set. Not bad. Plenty of Punks, plenty of Knights, plenty of Cenas, and definitely plenty of Warriors out there. For me, a lot of extra added value with this LA Knight. Probably what pushed me to order the set. So all these figures, relatively basic, but all well executed. Not a whole lot of issues with them, so I can't complain. I got what I ordered. But I'm going to leave it off with some figure photography. Sure, I'm going to have some fun with that. You check out my whole library of figure photography on Instagram, scoopman_5000. I did just look at the wave with Uncle Howdy, Tiffany Stratton, Eddie Guerrero. I've also looked at that wave with the pitch black Bray Wyatt if you're interested. And I'll see you guys in the next video.